Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our panel discussion on driving revenue through customer experience in retail and e-commerce. My name is Eli, and I've spent the last decade helping retail and e-commerce brands enhance their customer experience strategies and achieve memorable business outcomes. It's a pleasure to be moderating this exciting discussion today with two incredible leaders in the industry, Ariel Morgan, Senior Product Marketing Manager at Faire, and Rachael Bartlett, Insights Lead at River Island, who have extensive experience in CX within the retail sector. As somebody who spent the last decade working with both emerging and established brands, I've seen firsthand how pivotal customer experience is, not just driving customer satisfaction, but also significant revenue growth on the retention side. In today's landscape where customer expectations are super high, a strong CX strategy is really a game changer. AI-driven tools are also driving this transformative role in elevating experiences like this, something we'll definitely explore further today. Maybe we first start with a quick round of intros. Ariel, do you want to kick us off?
Thank you for the intro. So my name is Ariel. I started my career in CX and made the intentional shift towards product. My goal was to ensure that the voice of the customer plays a central role throughout the entire product development process, from discovery to post-launch. I've always believed that CX, particularly the support provided by our customer-facing teams, is an extension of the products that we build. And if we create something technically impressive, but it's not intuitive for our customers or the teams that support them, we've kind of missed the mark in effective product development. So as of recent, I find that AI and customer listening tools have helped our product teams better understand what our users want and need, resulting in overall just better customer experiences that are more intuitive and more delightful.
Love it. Rachael?
Hi, so I've been leading insights at River Island for the last 2 years, and previously I was at New Look, another fashion retailer. So I'm fully embedded in fashion retail, really. And in both places, I've looked after customer feedback in the form of satisfaction, brand tracking, market performance, just to give that whole round view, really.
Love it. So I guess let's start off with high level. What are we really talking about when we say that customer experience drives revenue? It's something that I said my entire career to get paid a little bit more. But I think as we kind of get more into this conversation, we'll get a little bit more deeper. I think it obviously goes beyond addressing customer complaints or solving issues like the old customer support. I think it's about embedding these pieces of customer feedback in every facet of the business in order to create experiences that foster loyalty, drive larger purchases and a larger LTV, and obviously reduce returns, which ultimately improves the bottom line. Today, I think it's worthwhile to explore how businesses like Faire and River Island are leveraging CX to boost revenue, reduce inefficiencies, and create overall a lot more value for their customers. During our conversation today, we'll dive into a few key areas. So number one, how effective CX strategies can directly drive revenue for retail and e-com brands. Number two, the role of AI in enhancing and streamlining these efforts. Number three, some practical strategies to reduce return rates, increase the value of customer shopping baskets, and retain loyal customers, so a larger LTV conversation. And finally, we'll showcase real-world examples such as how Chattermill has helped businesses like Faire and River Island improve productivity and revenue. I think we get started with talking about like one of these core elements of our conversation today, how CX directly impacts revenue. To kick things off, let's talk about the direct relationship between CX and revenue. In a world where kind of customer expectations are evolving rapidly, the way brands design and deliver customer experience are obviously a critical factor in the success. Ariel, I know at Faire you embed CX teammates directly into product development pods to improve functionality and adoption. Can you explain a little bit more how this approach has improved profitability for these features that you launch?
Yeah, definitely. So embedding our CX teammates directly into product development ensures that we capture customer feedback at the right moment while we have a team assembled and focused on solving the problem. As many of you know, getting a problem prioritized on the roadmap can be quite a challenge. So it's critical to address CX needs when we have the dedicated resources across various functions already assembled. So this approach leads to more relevant, user-friendly features that not only like enhance the customer experience when we deliver them, but it also drives better business outcomes by driving higher adoption rates and ultimately increased revenue, depending on the type of product that we're delivering. But also just by shipping better products, we reduce the ongoing costs of maintenance. So there are fewer customer inquiries, there's less feedback, which means fewer updates and fixes that will need to be implemented later down the road, which is particularly important when the product team has kind of moved on to the next thing. If we develop a lot of tech debt, then we kind of have this like feature or this product or experience that isn't ideal, that we will eventually have to have a very expensive conversation about later down the road to decide like, oh, we need to come back to this and fix it. And that conversation in its own is very expensive. And so by taking care of these things and reducing tech debt, we kind of reduce operating costs and improve business outcomes all at once.
I love it. I think and maybe if we have time at the end, we'll get back to this on like how you make sure that you take the correct customer listening versus everything. Something that I've seen both on the brand side and the SaaS side is you have like every customer wants something else and you kind of build a roadmap based on like what your biggest customer wants, which is not necessarily the right long-term decision, but it's super interesting. Rachael, from your perspective on the more retail side, how does customer experience drive revenue? And can you share some examples of strategies that have proven to be successful?
So without understanding what the customer thinks about their experience with your brand, you can't understand their pain points and what's driving the most commercial value for the business. It's been an important part of the insights across both River Island and at New Look, measuring customer satisfaction across all channels and feeding that through to the strategies to improve both the operational needs and the commercial opportunities. For example, the whole retail force at River Island have access to the feedback from their customers via the Chattermill dashboards, so they can identify and react when there are barriers to purchase. And off the back of this, it builds up a huge resource for creating strategies, which the CX team can build roadmaps from and find solutions for. And an example of how this has worked is with service in stores. So we know that the service that the customer receives has a huge impact on their experience and their loyalty. So at both New Look and River Island, it's been a really strong focus where we created frameworks of what's expected from the store teams and how they can deliver this. We know that there's a strong correlation between satisfaction growth and market share. So it's important that the teams are all working together so they can create the best experience.
I love it. Next, how about we dive into the role that AI plays in enhancing customer experience? I think tech has obviously become a vital part of CX strategies, and we've come a long way, particularly with AI-driven tools that can help brands analyze all this feedback in one central place and make quicker, more informed decisions. I think these tools are obviously enabling companies to drive both operational efficiencies and more customer satisfaction. Ariel, can you tell us how Chattermill has helped Faire in improving your CX initiatives? Like what kind of productivity and revenue wins have you seen this year?
Yeah, definitely. So since implementing Chattermill about 2.5 years ago, we've streamlined our customer listening processes at Faire in 2 key ways. So first, it has automated how we get relevant user feedback in front of product teams at the right time, thanks to the Slack integration. So at Faire, it's pretty standard practice now for product teams to create dedicated feedback channels where Chattermill funnels customer input. So this means that product design and engineering teams receive real-time feedback, helping us quickly spot bugs and make rapid adjustments post-launch. So previously, our CX teams manually compiled this data, and I'd estimate that automating this process probably saves us around 50 hours a week across all of our product pods. So major productivity win, also results in just like on the fly. Like I've seen so many conversations where we see the same feedback by 3 customers and an engineer is just like, wait, that isn't right. Like this is a 2-day fix. Like, can we just like fix this right now? Seems kind of wonky. And then we get a fix done by the end of the week versus, again, like creating that tech debt where it's like, oh, file a bug, we'll get back to this eventually. The second way that we're using Chattermill is for a biannual pain point analysis to surface our most pressing customer challenges. This analysis helps our product teams prioritize what matters most and allows them to focus on our highest impact projects, and also just like improve the customer experience more efficiently. Using AI to aid in this process saves our product teams many hours of research and discovery time during planning cycles, and helps us also validate features that like we intuitively know like this is probably something that we need to chase. But when we see it come up in the pain point analysis, it's a lot of validation that our PMs will actually like pull out when they're kind of like going to bat for these features during like planning cycles of just like, hey, this has come up in the pain point analysis twice now. I really think that there's a lot of opportunity here. So saving time on the EPDD side as well as our CX teams.
I love it. I love the first piece on kind of like the product people being in the weeds on the Slack channel and saying like, hey, this came up in three different occasions in the last 3 days. It's actually a super easy fix, because sometimes on the CX side, you have no idea like what's a 2-second fix versus a 2-month fix. So it's super insightful to have like product seeing this. Something that we struggled on the brand side as well is like how do we send all that information to the right people and properly understand like how long it takes to get something resolved. Rachael, how has AI impacted your work on the retail side? Like, can you speak to the value that it brings in terms of improving CX and driving real business outcomes?
Yeah, so AI through Chattermill has meant, similar to what Ariel was saying, really, open-ended comments are no longer this long manual process to code up. And over the years, we've used lots of different tools, looking at sentiment analysis, coding up the themes, and they've all had their limitations. So they've either been a really long-winded process to set up and then to keep maintaining, or they've just really missed the tone, such as sarcasm, and it's given a false impression of what it's actually saying. So using the Chattermill dashboards has given us the ability to see huge amounts of qualitative data in a quantitative format. So we can trend the feedback, we can see where there are seasonal fluctuations, identify the areas that are constant pain points, and look at the commercial opportunities. So for example, we see that customers are consistently mentioning queues at the tills. We know this is a big bugbear of customers. And at River Island, it's meant that we can really invest in new technology. So self-service checkouts that for those customers who just want to get in, get their items and get out, they can do that, and it frees up the store teams so they can help the customers who perhaps are spending a bit more time and want to speak to them and find out more. And we see the direct improvement to the experience through this, and it's helped us learn and improve on that process so that as it gets rolled out across more stores, we can make sure it's working in the right way.
I love it. I learned a new word, bugbear. And I will be traveling to London next week, and I look forward to using it. I still have to figure out the right place. One of the biggest challenges in retail and e-com that both brands face is these super high return rates. Obviously, reducing returns can directly impact profitability, which is super important now. While obviously increasing the value of customer shopping baskets can drive growth. Rachael, can you share your approach to reducing these return rates and how it impacts revenue?
Yeah, so returns are the nature of retail, even more so in fashion. And so it is a bit of an ongoing battle. A recent change that River Island made is the introduction of a returns fee. So for those people returning products by post to the warehouse, it's encouraging them instead for them to go to a store to make their return, because then they don't get charged. And it gives us another opportunity to convert them to make another purchase or to exchange rather than just return. And we've monitored the response to this, and it's been minimal, and it's starting to become the norm across the sector at the moment now. And so obviously, alongside creating the best experience in store, we've also introduced smart fitting rooms. And this allows customers to see what other sizes are available right there and then. They don't have to think, oh, I wonder if they do have this in another size, on a screen in the fitting room while they're trying on their item, and they'll be able to see and make that request and have it brought to them. But also it gives us lots of data. It means we know what they've taken into the fitting rooms, and we understand what the biggest drivers to conversion are, and the impact the fitting rooms are having. So again, this really helps reduce returns by helping them find their right outfit from the start, helping them and understanding what it is that is and isn't working for them.
It's such a great idea to kind of charge the fee to return via mail and then give like free returns and exchanges in the store. I really like that. Ariel, I know that obviously increasing LTV and increasing these shopping baskets is a key focus at Faire. Can you share some of the initiatives that you've taken to make this happen?
Yeah, definitely. We have one that like really comes to mind. So, as I previously mentioned, we do this biannual pain point analysis, and shipping costs have consistently come out on top of that list. So, Fair has been exploring several ways to address this. And most recently, we relaunched our Insider program, which is a free shipping membership for retailers, very similar to Amazon Prime. And with this relaunch, we've been able to about double the amount of free shipping available for our Insider members, which is huge. Especially because historically we've seen that retailers are not only more likely to make purchases when they see free shipping, but they also tend to buy more when they don't have to absorb the shipping costs. So as a wholesale marketplace, this means that retailers can purchase more at a lower cost, allowing them to pass those savings to their customers. And this in turn boosts their sell-through rates and drives increased demand for wholesale products, which we can provide. So it's a very powerful flywheel that free shipping kind of helps us set in motion.
It's and you found that out by kind of tracking that through Chattermill.
Yeah. I think like shipping costs is the biggest concern that we've seen on the retailer side. And so increasing free shipping was one way that we're trying to kind of solve this problem, alongside a few other ideas that we've still got baking.
Nice. Nice. We all know that kind of retaining loyal customers is critical to long-term success. I know there are so many brands focused on this in a bunch of different ways. What do you think are these kind of key factors that keep customers coming back? And maybe we'll kind of leave this as an open discussion. Ariel and Rachael, from your experiences, kind of what factors do you think are most important in building and maintaining customer loyalty?
Yeah, I'm happy to go first. So Faire is a B2B marketplace where entrepreneurs are conducting business with one another. So our customers are all business owners. And when they're using Faire, they're very much on the clock and every minute counts for them. So, I'm sure many people here can relate, but I become very frustrated when my work tools don't work or slow me down or decrease my productivity. So I think the way that like Faire builds trust and loyalty is by providing really reliable, intuitive tools that help our brands and our retailers operate more efficiently. So we're able to do this by listening closely to our customers and developing solutions that help save them time and streamline their daily tasks. And what I've seen at Faire over the past like 4 or so years is that some of our smallest features that I've worked on have led to our biggest sentiment wins. Something as small as like being able to mark a message from a customer as unread has led to massive time savings for our users. So, sometimes I think, especially in product, we get really wrapped up in like these really beautiful, like intricate, like well-designed, like big swing products. But at the end of the day, like what our customers really want is a really efficient place to operate their business. So I think this is, and being able to like listen to them and like understand, like they'll tell us in what ways our product slows them down. And I think it's really important to take those like maybe, small pain points and incorporate them into product roadmaps. Because I think that when you listen to your customers and you show them and you launch these products and people see like, hey, I complained about this and you fixed it, and now I'm saving 2 minutes a day per message, like that's huge for me. So yeah, I think Chattermill has been super helpful and like critical in helping us identify what those like small wins are. But definitely, I think that is what our customers care most about, at least from my purview.
I love it. Rachel?
Yeah, I agree on what you said, and especially with trust. I feel this is a really important part of this. So customers need to know that they're shopping with a retailer they can rely on. Um, Obviously, getting the product right at the right time is always a really big factor when it comes to fashion. But what can give us the edge over our competitors is understanding who our customers are and what they want and what they need from us. So, listening to them and showing them that we're listening and that we care about this really helps gain their trust. And it means we can enable them to return to us through any channel, and they know they're doing okay.
I think to me, what's most interesting is we talk so much about personalization, but you obviously can't personalize before you know your customers. And everyone's kind of looking for that easy, quick hack to personalize messaging, whether it's email or SMS or push or whatever, and you can't do that without knowing your customers. And on Ariel's points, I think like these little moments of happiness and product is so important, and you can't uncover what is a problem you need to solve without, again, knowing your customers. Um, wow. Okay. Well, thank you both for sharing your insights on how CX can drive revenue in retail and ecom. It's been great to hear how CX backed by AI-driven tools like Chattermill can not only improve customer satisfaction, but also drive like serious business outcomes. To wrap up, I know we only have like 2, 3 minutes left. What is one key takeaway that you'd like to leave the audience with? Ariel, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, yeah. I'd say like one key takeaway or something that I have kind of like taken on as like my own like personal like value and thing that I try to keep in mind when I'm working is I just believe that the best products are built when we are actively involving our customers in the process and stay deeply attuned to what their needs are. And I think that with AI, it's now easier than ever to give customers a voice in product development by helping us filter through noise and zero in on what truly matters. So I think just by listening carefully and leveraging these tools, we can create solutions that are not only effective and drive like positive business impact, but also are genuinely impactful for the people that we're building for.
Yeah.
Amazing. Rachel?
Yeah, I agree. And customers really form the heart of retailers, and we need to understand what they're thinking, enable them to reach out to us and feed into the future of the organization. And so having a scalable way to use this feedback is just really important. So we can react to it, we can be proactive with that. It's a really rich source of information as well. And so AI, I think, is becoming just so important with helping support this. It's saving time, it's saving money. So you can really focus on those outputs and actually making use of all this information.
Thank you both so much for your time and insights today. And thanks for everyone who joined us. We hope that you found this discussion valuable as you continue to shape your customer experience strategies. And if anyone here has questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll make sure to follow up and get back to your questions via email after the session. Thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to continuing the conversation. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Ariel. And thanks, Chattermill, for having us.